Hey there, I want to welcome all my good friends and night marketing and everything, all 5,700 of you guys or anything, and I'm so happy to actually have you all here. You know what? We have Brandon. He's an expert at solo ads and solo mailing. He's actually going to show you how he makes tons of money doing this every time he mails and how he collects tons of emails. This is so easy to do because his methods are very simple to do for the reason that he has a system. And Brandon's going to show you everything that he does. And I'm going to tell you, he's one of my best friends, and he's actually a master of that solo mailing. And I'm just going to let you actually hear from the master himself. Brandon, can you tell us actually how you first started?
Yeah, no problem. And thank you for having me. I kind of have the typical whole information overload and starting off with really just in a kind of in a bad place. I started off, I want to say around 2007, 2008 is when I first actually like kind of got introduced to online marketing. I saw like those banners online where it's like make $100 today with Google, make $300 today with Google. So I ended up clicking on those ads, and I was really skeptical. Didn't really think that you could be successful with online marketing. And then in 2011, I bought my first online marketing course, and that's really when my eyes kind of opened up, and I realized that I really can make money with creating an online business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to tell you, you know what? Everybody struggles in the beginning, but once they first find out that secret method or something that actually clicks, then they finally start making money. And keep in mind that when you first make your dollar, the first dollar, it's not as hard really to make your next $100 a day, because once you have that system, what you do is you rinse and repeat. And so the product right now that he has, and I'm going to tell you, but we'll mention that later on. But you know what? In the group, I've talked about building an email list. That is so important to do because the money is in the list. Like I said before, that every email that you have should be worth at least $1 a month. If you have 10,000 emails, it should be at least $10,000 a month that you're making, if not more. I mean, I've doubled and tripled that through quite a few methods. Would you actually agree with that, Brandon?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a fair assessment. It definitely depends on the quality of your list as well, but definitely a dollar is a good benchmark. Anything between like 75 cents and a dollar is definitely a good benchmark.
Great. What do you actually mail for when you have when you purchase some solo ads or buy some clicks? What do you actually mail out for? Or actually send to your actually, how does this actually work? I mean, do you actually find these guys in the yellow pages or on the internet, or how do you find a solo vendor who's reputable?
Okay, so I guess I'll kind of start off with like kind of the beginning stages. When I'm first looking for solo ads, you want to think about it this way. Email marketing is the king of traffic, and it's not going anywhere. Sometimes you might hear people talk about how email is going away, but email is not going anywhere. There's 170 million emails sent every 60 seconds, and if you think that things like Google or Facebook or other forms of traffic are more powerful than email, just think about how you access all of them. They all ask you for an email account, and that's how they communicate with you. So that lets you know that email is definitely king. So when you look at it that way, you know that any emailing list that you join is because you're actually interested in whatever that topic is. So it makes it a much warmer traffic than any other form of traffic. So with that said, you're looking at email marketing and say, okay, how can I use this to be able to build a list and start making money with my business? So all you have to literally do is make a list of people who have customers that you want that have an emailing list. And that's definitely the way that I like to start, because traditionally most people teach you to go in Skype groups, go in Facebook groups, look online for like private Rolodexes or lists for solo ad sellers, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want to get the most targeted and untapped traffic who's not used to seeing solo ads all the time, then that's a great way to do it. There's so many different sources. You can look at different blogs, product vendors, forums. Like there's so many different places that will have an emailing list of customers you want that you can just make a list of and contact them to be able to get solo ads. And then they'll be laser targeted. They'll be super high quality. and you'll definitely make more money when you initially start testing your funnel. So that's the way I like to go about it.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. What I'm noticing right now in the market, they're around 60 to 70 cents a click or anything. And the higher clicks are actually, which are 97% United States, are a little bit higher than that or anything. And so that's just to get out how much really these clicks are costing. When they purchase, say, a package of 500 clicks, how do you actually, what do you do then? Do you actually send them the text, or what you actually want them to email out, or how would it actually they get this out to their the solo vendor?
So basically, before you even buy a solo ad, there's a couple of different delivery ways that you can get a solo ad. One way is you can purchase basically just a normal email advertisement where it's kind of like an affiliate email. They send like a targeted email copy and then a link to whatever your offer is. Then you can also buy email banner advertisement where it's like a online newsletter, and they'll have a bunch of different banners. It's just like doing media buying or buying banner space on a website. Instead, you're buying it inside an email newsletter. So that's another way you can purchase solo ads. You can also buy funnel clicks where people will add links into their follow-up series. They'll add links to like their download pages. They'll add links into their members areas, and then they'll send clicks to you that way. So those are kind of the different ways that you can get a solo ad. The highest quality one, and the one that you definitely want to target first, is the traditional email, because it's one person, which is just you, and it'll be a targeted email directly to you. Those ones tend to cost a little bit more, but obviously they're higher quality, and you are not sharing advertisement space with anyone else. Typically, I do look at price, but I care more about the quality, because you can get exclusive buyer list solos as well. And for those, I'd pay up to $1.50, just depending on what I know my funnel's cost per lead, and how much I'm making per lead with that funnel will kind of determine how much I'm willing to spend. But I would definitely say that 60 to 70 cents is a good average for solo ads. Sometimes you can get them for lower than that, but you just need to make sure that you do your homework first and don't just go off and buy solo ads. I see it happen all the time. Someone will find a list online, and the person will be selling 500 clicks for 35 cents or 40 cents a click, and then they see all these great reviews, and then they order a solo ad, and then they get scammed, and they like, wow, like, how do you have all these reviews if you're scamming people? That's why you always have to do your research, ask around. You can Google people. There's a lot of different ways that there's different things you can look at in your tracking. So if you have your tracking set up, I like to use @Tracks Gold, and it allows me to be able to see like where the links are coming from when people actually send off my solo ad. So I can automatically tell like if it's coming from their emailing list or if it's coming from some other place. Because if you buy email solo ad, you get all this traffic that comes from some random like download page or one of those download sites where they just bought like AdFly traffic. Then you'll be able to see that, and I can easily just call them out on it.
Brandon's exactly right. It's not the price; it's the quality, guys. Remember, and just to mention a little bit for later on is that we're going to actually offer a service with quality. 97% of the United States, but we'll talk about that on next time or anything. But he's saying that if you guys pay for junk, you're going to get junk. Okay, you get what you pay for. Everything has to be quality. And with Brandon's system, actually, he tells you step by step of what you do. He actually goes into what kind of emails that he recommends. And what actually makes up a good quality email would you recommend so that it converts, you don't waste your money when you purchase solo ads, such as how many clicks or whatever?
Yeah, I like to use, it's actually a template. It's kind of it's a formula that Colin Theriot, who's a big time copywriter, came up with, and I like to use that a lot for when I structure my solo ad email. So basically what it is, he calls it the Viking Velociraptor. It has like a weird name to it. But basically, the whole key point of it is you create a headline. The first line of your email, you want to verify whatever you say in your headline. Then you want to validate whatever you just verified. And then right after that is when I typically like to put my first link. So you verify, validate, put a link. Then you have villain, which basically is you are I'm sorry, Vantage is the next one, which basically you kind of just state something that people are kind of skeptical about, that they agree with you, and it's just something that's kind of widely known as kind of being skeptical. Then after you do the Vantage, then you'll do value, and then at the end you'll have a villain. You can kind of structure those 5 V's any way you want, but that's typically the way that I like to structure my email. So I just have the headline, verify the headline, then I validate what I just verified, put a link, then the next thing is the Vantage, then give value, and then at the end you kind of have a villain. So it's kind of give. You don't have to obviously name call someone out, but it's just something where, like, if you're doing SEO, everyone hates Google, so you can talk about how the Google changes are, and talk about how you hate the Google changes and how they're impacting your business, and basically let them know why whatever you're promoting it will be able to overcome that.
Oh, that's great. One question. When you write on email, I've noticed some emails they'll have like 3 different links inside it. Like, for example, and then I noticed that maybe there are about 5 words per sentence, and they spread them out pretty much like this. Do you actually recommend 3 links or just 1 link?
So I typically do 2 to 4 links. I try to put 4, but it has to make sense. When I do this, excuse me, the way I figure out the width of the email, if you just type out 0, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if you do that and type it out 3 to 4 times, that'll give you a good width so that your email is not too long, but it's not too short, so it has a good length so people can read it easily and consume your email well. So that's typically the way I do it, as far as like format-wise. And then when I do the links, I like to have like a strong call to action before I put the link. So my actual call to action where the hyperlink is always click here. But before that, I like to put a sentence and then like a semicolon. So if I'm talking about how great, how like, say this specific product will allow you to get to #1 in Google. So when I'm leading into the first click, I might say something like, if you're struggling with being able to get on page 1, then you might just want to, and then it'll be semicolon, click here.
I gotcha.
So something like that.
I gotcha. Make sure you guys have a pad of paper and a pen. I should have told you guys this or anything, because I'll tell you, I've been taking a lot of notes, as you can see right here. And another thing, and very important, lock that door so your spouse doesn't come in, because this is all valuable information, and this is going to take your business to another level. That is so important, because we're not here just to actually just entertain you guys. We're here to actually help you take your business to the next level. Very important. One question that I actually had, Brandon, is that how many times a day should you email out?
I typically email twice a day. I typically email once and then email again to my unread, to the people who I haven't opened my email, to the unopens. What a lot of people don't realize with email autoresponders is that they dynamically choose who didn't open your email. So you can send, like, this is how I'm able to run my solo ad business. Like, each month I make $3,000 to $5,000 with my solo ad business, and I only spend an hour a day running it. And this is how, because little automation things like this that I learned just from over time, or calling support, and just over the 2 years that I've been doing solo ads, just learning these different type of things. But when you send an email, you can actually immediately after it's sent, you can go back into the autoresponder, choose the unopens, create the segment, and then basically copy and paste the same email. On the second email, I just normally just change the headline and keep the same body, and then you can set that and schedule the time right away. So you're basically scheduling both emails at one time, so you don't have to worry about going to do it later. And the autoresponder will dynamically like filter out people who do open your email. So I like to typically send at like 8 o'clock in the morning and then 8 o'clock at night. So that way I'm covering people who check their email early in the morning, people who check their email late at night. And there's been stats out where 8 o'clock in the morning is one of the best times to send emails. So that's why I always try to send out early. So I'll create that first email, like I'll wake up around 7:30, or you can even do this the night before, and just schedule out the email, and then create the filter right away, and then you're set for the rest of the day. You don't have to go back and say, oh, I got to email my list a second time tonight. You can just set it all up right away in 10, 15 minutes, sometimes even less than that.
So then you just forget about it and go to sleep and not worry about it.
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
exactly.
I do that awesome. And then I heard you mention you make about $3,000 to $5,000 a month on solo ads. Did
Yep.
I hear you correctly?
Yep.
Brandon, are you going to show your method, I guess, inside the course a little bit later of how you exactly do this? Because I know a lot of people are watching and they love to make $3,000 to $5,000 on this extra income stream, because I teach everybody you should have at least 5 income streams. And if you can actually make on one of them $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you have other ones such as YouTube or Facebook, that can actually change a lot of people's lives. Do you go into that a little bit later in your course?
Well, yeah, definitely. I basically, the course I created isn't laid out in a simple 5-step system. I know it's a lot easier. I basically kind of analyze what I do on a day-to-day basis as far as picking the products that I'm going to promote, as far as creating products that I'm going to put into my sales funnel, the research and all that stuff. So I broke it down into a 5-step system, and then after the 5-step system, I also have advanced training so that you'll be able to kind of get the core, go through the course, and then after you get to the course, the core part of the course, there's advanced training, there's a lot of other stuff. I have Facebook group and all these different things.
Yeah, one thing you guys got to understand is that you want to be an expert at a few things. And email marketing is really a big part of my business. I would say pretty much almost 50% of my business. The reason is because this is something like, for example, if you go to these other forums, and I'm not going to name any of them really, but that they can be closed down like that. But email marketing is here to stay. You have to remember that a lot of people, they don't need other forms of advertisement because they already have their email marketing. I have people, or we have people inside the group of the 5,700 Night Warriors, and there's a couple of them that are making over $25,000 a month just on their email list. And you have to realize that you can actually live on your email list. And I can too. And this is so important because what Brandon's explaining to you is that you can create a huge email list overnight and relatively cheap and everything. Am I right, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely. Solo ads is by far the easiest form of traffic. It requires the least amount of technical knowledge because a lot of things like Facebook and Google and other forms of traffic, they have actual interfaces that you have to learn how to use. With solo ads, it's just basically setting up your funnel, putting your tracking in place, and then the person you're buying a solo ad from does all the rest of the work. So I definitely feel that it's the easiest way to get traffic, and it's the most powerful way because email marketing is the most powerful form of traffic. So as long as you, like I said, just create a list of targeted people who have a list of the customers you want, then you can easily, like, there's a lot of people who only do solo ads and they use that as their form of traffic, and they do very well. It's simple, and you can do it in any niche. You're not limited. There's blogs, there's forums, there's vendors in every niche, and there's more in niches outside of Make Money Online. And so if you look at it that way, look at how well people do in the Make Money Online niche. Think about how many weight loss and fitness and health blogs there are, and forums and products out there, and you go into all these other things like real estate and Forex and all those different type of niches. It's extremely easy and definitely the fastest way, where if you want to just enter a niche, just buy a solo ad and you can start from there.
Totally. Guys, you have to realize that, like I said, I make a crazy amount of money in email marketing and affiliate marketing. You guys notice inside the group there was a ton of amounts. Now, one of my best buddies, Ray, he's the coolest guy ever and everything. He's an excellent video guy and everything. But if you remember when you saw the amount that he made in one day, I think that was like about $1,100 in one day. But you remember that was through email marketing, if I remember everything, and that's actually how he makes a lot of money, is email marketing. I mean, the guy is a master video creator, but Ray's really cool. But one thing is, like I said before, is that you have to have a list. If you don't have a list, let me explain something to you. If you direct links to somebody, such as in a video or Facebook, you may get the purchase, but if you get the email, it's actually like teaching a person to fish. If you actually give them a fish for the one day, they only eat for one day. But if you teach them how to fish, they're going to actually eat for a lifetime. And that's what you do with email marketing, is that you can mail to your list every day, and you could possibly make $1,000 like my buddy did. And this is relatively easy. I mean, every time that I email out, we do great. And it's an easy system to do, but realize that right now, for example, say that you're making $3,000 to $5,000 a month, just like Brandon does. Now, let's go on the lower end, $3,000. Now, a lot of businesses, let's say that's probably about $36,000 a year. Now, if you wanted to purchase a business, like from a realtor, that business is worth 2 times yearly income. So that's worth $70,000. So realize that for you guys to invest 25 or 26 or whatever amount for your business to get in business, this is relatively really cheap to do. And all I have to tell you is that it's a must-have. You guys have to be expert, like I actually said. You need to be expert at Facebook. You need to be experts at YouTube. And you have to be an expert actually creating a huge email list. And you won't do that unless you learn how to do solo mailings. And you got to be an expert at this. And it's almost like having the solo Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because the solo Bible is actually what it does is that actually a Bible actually teaches you point by point of actually how everything works in life and everything. And, you know, as everybody knows. And so we're leading into really is that, what is your course, Brandon?
So Solo Ad Bible.
So, I guess I got lucky there, didn't I? And everything. So basically, what is like the outline of the Solo Bible, and how does it actually teach a person to go from step, you know, from A to possibly making $3,000 to $5,000 a month on autopilot almost, with about 1 hour a day working?
Yeah, I'll explain right now exactly what's inside the steps, so it's extremely clear for you, and everyone will be able to see what I cover and just the in-depth information, and I actually give direct access to me as well. And one key thing that you pointed out is that it's only an hour a day. So it allows me to be able to do other parts and run other parts of my online business and not have to feel so stressed like, oh my goodness, I'm spending so much time just to make $3,000 to $5,000. I can spend that 1 hour a day, and then I can go on and start dealing with my offline clients and the other things that I do online. So it makes it really, really easy. It's a hands-off method once you're able to really structure things correctly. And as far as like inside the course, like I said, it's a super stupidly simple system. Step 1 is basically creating your holy grail, where I teach you how to create your product. If you want to create your own product, I teach you what type of free gifts you should be giving away to be able to get people to opt into your list, and to get people to take your free gift, consume it fast, and then want to purchase whatever you have to offer. I cover how to find high converting affiliate offers and ones with low refund rates, which is extremely important and something that people always miss with solo ads. Everyone most of the time uses ClickBank for the majority of finding offers to promote to lists, especially if you're outside of the make money online niche. But a lot of offers on ClickBank have super high refund rates, but they have great reviews and they convert well. Doesn't do you any good if 50% of the people refund after they purchase from you. So I teach you how to find the refund rates, how to find good products to promote. I also go over structuring your funnel. I go over tracking and split testing, follow-up sequence. Then step 2, it's finding your solo ad glory. And in that module, I actually teach you where exactly to look for solo ads. I teach you specific Google short codes that I use to find newsletters, to find like untapped solo ad sources. And then in step 3 is avoiding solo ad hell. And this is extremely important just because I actually spent it was $1,997 on my second solo ad, and I I lost $1,400. I made I did $600 in sales, and so I ended up losing $1,400 on just my second solo ad. And I was at the time, I mean, I thought that solo ads would just be something where, oh, you can just go in a Skype group, go in a Facebook group, buy a solo ad, and start making money. And I learned the hard way that it's easy, but it's not that easy. You still need to have some type of expertise to be able to do well with solo ads. So I cover all the different ways on how solo ad sellers deliver traffic so that you completely understand what type of traffic people are sending you, and you'll be able to easily spot if they're sending you junk traffic or if they're sending you traffic that you didn't pay for, and it's a way that's a lower converting traffic. And step 4 is watching your angels soar to heaven. And in that step, you actually will learn how to track your live campaigns properly. You'll learn what you should be looking for in your stats. That's a key thing. A lot of people don't realize that when you buy solo ads, you need to have a number of days that you're going to be evaluating by. So you can't just buy a solo ad and say, okay, 3 days later I didn't make any money or I lost money, so that solo ad provider isn't good. If you look at solo ads that way, you're never going to be able to scale. So you have to make sure that you have metrics in place where you're either evaluating on a 7-day basis, on a 30-day basis, like you have your follow-up sequence already set so you know, okay, after these 7 days, if I don't at least break even, or after these 30 days, which is typically what I like to do, if I don't at least break even or come close to breaking even, then I won't repurchase. Because if you break even or come close to breaking even, that's actually a win. You're building a list for free. Everything after that will be pure profit. So that's a mindset shift that people definitely need to have when they're buying solo ads. In that module, step 4, I also cover how to get rid of losing landing pages. So when you're split testing, when to actually get rid of the bad ones so that you're actually left with the good ones. I teach you how to properly split test so that you don't spend your entire budget on split testing, because that has happened to me before. And then the last module is spreading the good word, which is all about scaling and just basically rinse and repeating step 5. Then I add some bonus modules where I actually have Becoming an Email Messiah, which is teaching you how to completely control your subscribers' experience once they enter your emailing list. Keeping subscribers in heaven, and that will allow people to stay on your list for the longest period of time, and when they actually get ready to maybe unsubscribe, or teach you little tricks that you can use to make sure that they stay on your list. Then I also go over the Holy Ghost conversion tactic, which is a tactic that I use to help spike conversions on my sales pages and on my landing pages. I give you my Sacred Traffic Analyst, which is my personal Excel sheet that I've created to be able to forecast the solo ads that I buy, so I'll know and have an idea of what type of money I'll be making before I even buy a solo ad and keep track of everything. I have the Last Standing Disciple module, which is, like I said, talking about how to prevent people from unsubscribing from your list. Then I have a Facebook group, get direct access to me.
And one thing about the Facebook group, okay, I was going to mention real quick. Is it possible that we can throw something into these people if they actually share this video? Maybe possibly the Facebook group or something.
Yeah,
I might be able to. Video.
I might be able to put something together. Maybe like find like the best emailing subject lines that I've had. I can probably go into my tracking. I already have a list of them because I typically just put them to the side, but I can do that like I do it each month, so I can kind of do it a little bit earlier and then put together a file and
that would be huge, because I know that right now this would benefit so many people, because I've seen so many people purchase solo ads, but they really don't know what they're doing. So if they actually get this course, it's actually going to make them money, but you get what I'm going to tell you how it works, really, solo ads. I'm a big believer in them, is that you get paid money while building your list. You understand how awesome that is? And where else can you actually get this is you get paid while building your list. That is so huge, or anything. And especially if you share this video, what are we thinking about, setting them up with, Brandon?
I can give them my best email subject lines.
Oh my gosh. You know how huge that is? You guys have to understand that when you go to your emails and you see them all down, now you're going to see maybe 20 or 30 or whatever is down there. Now, if Brandon's going to give you his best subject lines, what are the chances that you're going to actually open his email or your email instead of somebody else's? What is going to happen is that Brandon's, who is the expert at email marketing, he will actually get more of an open rate. How big is an open rate, Brandon?
It's extremely important. Obviously, click-through rate and open rate are the two key metrics with email marketing. Subject line is what dictates the open rate. So if you don't have a good subject line, a lot of people won't be able to open your a lot of people won't open your email, which means less people will be actually clicking on whatever you have to offer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And how many subject lines are you gonna give them?
I have a lot. So when I think right now I already have like a list of like 16. So when I go back in and check the ones from this month, it could end up probably being around 20.
So, like I said before, if it's okay with Brandon, because this was not scripted or anything, and he's doing this from the goodness of his heart. Okay, if it's okay with Brandon, I know a lot of times I speak out of turn. That's just my personality because my mind just keeps going. And I think if they share the video and they say under this video, if it's okay with Brandon,
yep,
that he'll enable you to have some of his greatest subject lines. And all you have to do is say, hey, Brandon, I shared this. Please give me my free surprise bonus. Is that okay with you, Brandon?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
And and then also remember one thing. I'm going to tell you, I already picked it up already. And the reason that I have Brandon in on this interview was because when I picked it up, I was like, holy crap, there's so much stuff inside of here that's valuable. Even I learned a lot of stuff from here. And you guys are going to understand that underneath this video is going to be the link to grab it. I'm going to tell you. How much is it? I mean, they're going to ask how much it is, so that there's no
It's $17 for the gold package and $27 for the platinum. Basically, the difference is if you get the gold, you will not get my Solo Ad Bible Scriptures, which is the exact emails that I use to contact blog owners, newsletters, solo ad sellers, and I actually tell you what answers that you should receive from that email in order to move forward. So there's no room for error. You get the exact questions you need to ask, and I'm telling you what answers they need to give you. If they don't give you those answers, then you move on. And then you also won't get my Solo Ad Seller Purity Scroll, which is basically an Excel sheet that I use to keep track of each person I buy solo ads from. I have a formula inside there, so you can easily just plug in the numbers from each solo ad seller, and then you'll be able to see easily who was good and who was bad. And then you also the third thing that you won't get is my Sacred Traffic Analyst. So those three things are exclusive to Platinum members. There's no upsell, so everything is up front. You either get the gold version or the platinum version. You don't have to worry about what's after the gate, what's next. That's literally the entire course is laid out in front of you. You can openly just see the two options, and then you can choose from there.
I know this is speaking out of turn, but don't mess with the gold. Just get the platinum. I mean, if you're going to have a $36,000 to actually a $60,000 a year business, let's do it right. Invest in your business, because for the price of a pizza in between, that is just really not. It's not a no-brainer. You guys have to really, like I said before, you have to have your solo ad where that you're an expert at it. He actually has the system. I've never brought a solo ad person on to the group before because what I've seen in other courses, it just didn't make sense to me, or it didn't actually feel like I was getting enough out of it. And I'm just telling you straight up. What I saw for Brandon, really, what happened was when I got it, I said, you know what, I like it. I like it a lot. And basically the reason I liked it was because he had a step-by-step system of actually how to do this. It wasn't really just a bunch of golden nuggets, like say, here's one here, here. When you look at a course, I want something that goes from step 1 to step 5. And if I see that, then I feel like I can actually put this in action in my own business. And that's what you're getting with Brandon. He's basically giving you all the tests. He's giving you everything. He's giving you a business in a box, and that is so important because there's nothing left out. The two things that you want to do is click the link under the bottom. Just grab the platinum part. That's just it's cheap to actually start a $50,000 business right off the bat. And I want to tell you, Brandon was actually underestimating of actually how much he makes, because when I do a mailing, even I make maybe $400 or $500 on each mailing. Okay, the reason he went a little bit lower is so that people will just feel like, hey, you know what, he's giving more value to you, so that it'll be almost a shock when you make your first $400 or $500 on your first mailing. That's just how it works, because it's huge. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. If you look at Ray, he made over $1,000 in one day on a mailing. So the money is really out there, and the money's on the list. The second thing that you need to do is share this video, and underneath the video say, hey, Brandon, I shared the video. Please give me my surprise bonus. And then at the end, what's going to happen is that Brandon's going to go right under there. He's going to PM you, and he's going to send you what you need to do. And am I right, Brandon?
Yep. I'll actually start putting everything together now, and then I'll give people like a few days or so that people can be able to share the video, and then I'll PM everyone and send them a zip file.
Exactly. You know what? Give it. Remember that Brandon has to get this all together. I put him on the spot. You know how I am. That's my personality. I'm loud. So give him probably until maybe about 7 days, because you know what? You don't want him just putting stuff together. You want him to take the time to put the best stuff together. So after about 7 days, then he'll start sending you the free surprise bonus, because you want the best stuff. You don't want you want him to take the time and put out this great stuff for you. So one thing I have to mention, like I said before, the two things you have to do, like I said before, grab the link on the bottom. It's a must. If you don't have it, don't. I mean, this is your business. Like I said before, if it's a $50,000, $60,000 a year business, you can't invest a couple bucks for it? I mean, I've actually invested hundreds of thousands of dollars on my businesses, and they didn't even make $50,000 or $60,000. I'm just telling you straight. I mean, I'm going to give you another thing, okay, is that he's making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I've actually bought houses for about $100,000, and I only get $700 a month for rent. Okay, do you see how insane this is if you don't grab this, where that you can actually see when you do solo mailing, you don't have to go inside the house and actually go fix it up when a tenant moves out. You don't have to pay electricity, water. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay insurance. You don't have to deal with tenants. Okay? This is the easiest business that you ever be in. There's no overhead for you. Okay? You don't have any hosting. You don't have to worry about hardly anything. All you have to do is worry about really collecting those emails and spending 1 hour on your business a day to make this kind of money that actually Brandon does, or my buddy Ray, who makes $1,000 a day. So really, three words: trust your instincts. Okay, and then two things: click the link on the bottom, grab it. Second thing is share it. Then after that, make sure that you go under this video and say, Brandon, I shared it. Please give me my surprise bonus. In about a week from now, you're gonna get the best email subject lines that will actually convert like wildfire over and over and over. I'm going to let Brandon have the last word.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much what James said hits the nail on the head. It's very, solo ads are pretty easy. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to become rich off solo ads, but it's definitely a way where you can quickly be able to build a nice income for yourself while only having to work a few hours a week. If you want to spend more time on solo ads, you definitely can and scale it up even more. I just happen to have other parts of my business, and I don't want to work more than 1 hour on it. So that's the reason why I stayed in the income level where I'm at with just solo ads. But it's definitely something that I definitely agree that it's extremely powerful as long as you know how to do it the right way. Just keep in mind that do not just go into Skype and Facebook groups and buy solo ads. That is not the key to being able to be successful. Make sure you find people that have targeted lists. That's something that I want you to really drill into your head. Make a list of people who have the list of customers you want, and those are the people that you go after first, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, you guys are totally. But I was gonna let you guys know out a little bit later. But me and my team, the night marketing team, we're gonna come out with our own solo ads or anything. So we're gonna actually make it so affordable for you guys to purchase them and everything. And they're gonna be 97% United States. But later on, we're gonna let you do it. Like I said before you start doing this with us and going with the service, make sure so that you're ready and you're actually very educated on this before you purchase them. Is that you got to grab Brandon's course, because I want everybody educated. Because if you want to actually purchase solo ads off us, you got to know what you're doing. If you're a novice, we're not going to actually have you purchasing solo ads, even if they're inexpensive, because we want everybody to be very successful, and that's so important. Number two, after you watch this video, make sure you share the video, okay, on your personal page, because that way you can get those headlines and then you can actually start sending out some great emails, and then they're actually convert. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on here, Brandon. I'm going to tell you, the whole 5,700 members really are loving this, and they really needed this education and everything. So thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys. You know what? Have a good one and everything, and we'll put this up as soon as possible, and then we'll put the link on the bottom. Please, everybody, grab this because I don't want to have to educate everybody afterwards how to purchase or do solo ad mailing. So you're just going to make my job a lot easier once you grab the product right underneath this, because you're going to get a great education, and then hopefully you'll be making $50,000, $60,000 a year like Brandon. All right, have a great one. And like I said before, this can change a lot of lives. Trust your instincts and grab it now. All right, later on, everybody.
All right, see you later.